Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in a 2-game set between Azubu's top and Apollo's AK. This is a Zerg versus Terran matchup. On the top right hand side of the map we have AK spawning as the blue Zerg. Meanwhile on the bottom left, Azubu's top spawning as the red Terran. It looks like this is a Terran versus Zerg matchup, and so far we are for today in the TESL, we are all tied up at 1 game apiece. Will we come out at 2 games apiece, or will one of these two players be able to do a straight 2-0 victory over their opponent? Now, Azubu's top needs no real introduction. Perhaps one of the most well-known foreigners that are currently playing in the TSL or has ever played in the TESL. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, AK still just mining away with a whole bunch of drones, and we're looking to see what type of strategy will be coming in. And I just realized that the previous 2 games were a PVZ, not a TVZ. Alright, no real loss there. Now, interestingly enough, top is going for a very aggressive economic opening and going to be going for a command center first. Now, normally I would say that this is a very greedy build, but I'm sure that top, who really knows how to rely on his micro and know how to defend and know when exactly to pull SCVs, feels very, very confident in his abilities. Now, this SCV will make its way down to here and not make its way to the low ground, instead building a command center first. This was actually a strategy that I had thought another player would have used in the previous game, but instead he did go for that barracks and then that refinery instead. Alright, tops now going to follow up the command center with a very fast barracks, and now continue to train up more and more units back inside. And this is a very interesting fact that he is also going for a refinery. So a single refinery already being placed down, and based on the timing, I'm not 100% sure what top wants to do with that earlier gas. Most of the time, Terran players want to focus on the economic advantage and get as many minerals as possible. By going for this earlier refinery, he could be trying to go for an early Reaper for scouting purposes, or he could be going for a factory. At this point, I would have to suggest that the factory would be the better option, since he already has a scouting SCV. Scouting SCV will figure out that AK has finished up his hatchery now. You can also take a look. Metabolic boost has not yet been started. He does his rounds and now will be backing off once more, as we are now going into double orbital commands. This is always one of those scary situations when you look at supply. There's a 6 supply discrepancy, but some of that is in the production of drones and queens. While those orbital commands are being upgraded, they're not training SCVs, so they're in really no danger either. Here we go. Marines are being trained. It looks as though a factory is going to be placed down. We could go into a reactor here momentarily, and then reactored Hellions will be the option that top wants to use in order to apply a bit of pressure to AK. Now, besides those reactor Hellions, we could also see perhaps a bit of reactored Widow Mines. Reactored Widow Mines are pretty effective against roaches, as SCV is now coming off the mineral line there, acting as a bit of a wall. And that was a perfect timing and a perfect hold. Top is going to get away with his command center first build, as the Zerglings are not going to be able to do very much here. Bunker just now completed. Marine's going to jump inside there, as we are now looking at that reactor being finished over here by the barracks. We're going to have a little bit of a swap now. So far, taking a look, Queens. So far, this queen still off over here. We're going to see perhaps Zerglings still dance around. And will AK try and take up a third base? Yes, he will, right as I say it, at the 3 o'clock position. And he has himself spread across the entire right side of the map. Now, AK needs to figure out what his plan of strategy and his plan of attack will be. Meanwhile, it looks like top's plan of attack will be reactored Hellbats on a drop. Reactored Hellbats, extremely strong, extremely powerful, able to get off plenty of drone kills when working together. The Zerglings now looking to move around. Perhaps they'll be able to do a little bit of scouting, but Top feels very confident here. One SCV will get taken down. There it goes. And this is actually a little bit of a mistake by Top. Top cannot afford to lose any workers here. A little bit of a small victory as the Hellions make their way to the third base and see, wait, nothing is over here. This is not typical at all. And now Top has to believe that his opponent is taking this 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Overlord now flying its way in. We are seeing very heavy production in barracks. We are going into double medevacs, but this double medevac play, surprisingly enough, does not have a reactor to back it up. So without the reactor on the starport, we are only going to see 2 Hellbats dropping at the same time. There you have the medevac now on the move. Where is it going to drop? What is it going to do? And where is it going to go? Those medevacs just looking to just boost its way all the way through. Perhaps could have gotten a couple of drones there. And now going to make its way up onto the high ground. Oh, this could be bad. The Hellbats do deal a lot of damage. 30 damage per attack, you can see. Completely just torching all of those Zerglings. Are they going to pick it up? Yes, able to pick it up and get away once more. There you go. However, oh, beautiful micro trying to save that medevac. That medevac, however, very low on hit points, down to 2. Are there any spore crawlers there? Just flies past one. And now there is, oh, a spore crawler here. All of that fancy flying just to get shot down by another spore crawler at the 3 o'clock position. He must be kicking himself right there, but he did get a good number of kills, at least on Zerglings, that will need to be retrained. AK not wanting to fall to all of that Hellbat harassment, now going into a Spire. Spire very, very key in controlling the skies with Mutalisk. Mutalisk extremely, extremely effective as they are very fast and able to catch up to a medevac when they are not in that after boost mode. We can see that the medevacs are making a move out onto the field. Hellions, medevacs making their way through, and SCVs not on auto repair. Not quite sure what these SCVs are doing except for actually attacking units. This is really rather strange, as we are now going to see a bit of a run by here. Zergling's able to get inside, and oh, Top is in trouble. Top may end up losing a couple of Hellbats. However, the supply depots have gone up. Zergling's now going to go ahead and take down the natural expansion. Meanwhile, the main base is getting pressured extremely heavily. Alright, this hatchery will fall. Meanwhile, the Zerglings have killed a fair number of workers at the natural expansion, but that is about it, as there are still, count them, 10 SCVs in this push. I cannot believe that Top actually moved out with an almost SCV all-in type of attack with Marines. Alright, this is a Marine SCV all-in type of attack. You can see that Banelings are now trying to be used in order to counter this, and they are fighting on creep. This could be enough. The Banelings are now going to make their way forward. Is it going to detonate? There goes a lot of units there. However, a lot of the Marines and the Marauders, or sorry, just the Marines, were not taken down. That Baneling hit, is it going to come from the back in time? And oh, a beautiful pickup. Now going to try and take down the units one at a time there. A Hellbat now making its way over, and there is now only 5 Marines left in this group. More Banelings looking to come in. Is it going to be enough? Zergling's now going to try and engage. There goes the Hellbat. And Top down to 69 supply, but still coming in with more reinforcements. The timing and the Banelings not hitting their target. Top playing as a top-notch player, able to pick up all of his units just before they're going to get taken down. Drones not the counter to Hellbats, unfortunately, as AK coming out of the losing end in that battle. And now we see some high ground. Oh, those Banelings wanting to detonate and take down some other units, but it does not feel like it's going to work any longer. Top's micro really, really shining in this last fight here, picking up, dropping off units, and then repeating it over and over and over again. I believe the GG will be coming in, and a good friend State apparently coming online as well. Gonna go ahead and take down a couple of medevacs here. The Marines are here, and the drones now making their way over. I believe a couple of these drones will get taken down. There goes the Mutalisk, and I believe the GG will be coming in. AK only with a whole bunch of workers, not that much of an army, even though the supply is pretty even. All right, that SCV all in. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was on accident, but I believe that strategy will be working. Handful of medevacs, Marines, Hellbats finishing everything off here. Is it going to be enough? There's some more Overlords. More Zerglings going to try and come in and engage. Is it going to be enough here? You can see Extractors now taking down. And apparently this is the day to stick in games where you have no right or reason to. And AK is going to end up losing this. The Banelings finding some of their targets, but still not doing enough to take the victory here. You can see the heavy production of Marines and Hellbats. Too much, and there is the GG. AK losing game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 in this 2-game set. Please stay tuned for game 2.